Alright guys, well there you have it. First of all, I do want to apologize if it's a little bit windy. I need to get a mic. I keep saying that I'm going to be investing in a mic and I keep putting it off. So it is a little bit windy out here, and so I just want to go ahead and let you know this is a 2018 M3. A lot of you guys might have kind of seen it coming. Some of you guys were expecting that I was going to get a Supra. Others were saying that I should just get a G20 M340i. And I want to kind of give you guys an explanation on why I ended up with a F80 M3 versus one of those cars. So to begin with, my original plan was to, if I were to get rid of the F30, it would be to get a Supra. I know a lot of people weren't really too happy with the car whenever it came out, and it was getting a lot of hate at the very beginning. So right off the bat, I liked the car. I liked everything that it had to offer, and plus I knew that it came with the B58. But as you guys know, I did end up purchasing a house. So within that time frame of April and up until August, I wasn't really able to make any big purchases. So I had to hold off on it. I wasn't able to make the move on Supra. Otherwise, I probably would have tried to pull the trigger on it. And so at that point I was like, okay, so I'm gonna keep my car and I'm just gonna keep modding it, do all this, do the interior that you guys saw that I was gonna do, the comp interior, do the wide body, which never actually made it. So I had all these plans for the car, and you know, one day I sat down and decided that I was just gonna do some math and figure out how much I was gonna be spending, and then kind of looking at how much the F80s were going for. So at that moment, I had realized that the 2015, 2016's F80 M3s were a little bit more attainable at this point, and something that I felt like it was affordable, and then that a lot of people could get it and then kind of relate to. So I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? As much as, you know, as cool as a Supra might be, just to have something different, a different chassis, or even a 340. I know the parts on those cars are kind of limited. I've seen them lowered with a little bit. To me, it still doesn't really do it for me. I really love the F30 chassis, and I was so close to keeping it just because I feel like that car is designed very well, like the front, the back. And I mean, don't get me started with the M3. You guys know the M3 is obviously better than the F30 chassis, but it's just, I just felt like this car was the right car for me to get at this moment. I'm not saying that I'm gonna keep it forever. I love the car. I've been driving it for about 4 or 5 days now, and I've enjoyed it. And I will say that it is a little bit different than what I've had. So it does drive different. It feels different right off the bat. As soon as you drive it, I can just tell right away when I take it for a test drive. Power, it's about the same. I think. I mean, at that point, my car was making 370 to the wheels. This car is probably around that mark, maybe 10, 20 more. I have no idea how much these cars make. Stop. I looked at it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So the power was kind of close, but the handling you can kind of tell. And so here we have the 2018. Quick little short story on this. I got this car from Flow BMW here in Winston-Salem, so shout out to those guys. If you guys are interested in picking up a car, feel free to check them out if you see a car on their lot. I've noticed that they price their cars very fairly, opposed to other dealerships who like to mark them up higher, which is kind of what I'll get into later on why I ended up with mineral gray. I used to drive to the gym, which I just started going to. So I would see the car there every time that I would drive by, and I would just look at it. Every now and I stopped maybe 2 or 3 times to take a look at it when everybody was gone, just because I really didn't know if it was the car that I wanted to get or not. So I mean, just a couple weeks went by, and I drove by one day and the car was gone. So I was like, oh man, they sold it. So after that, later on that night, I talked to my girlfriend. I was like, hey, I was like, the M3 is not there anymore. And I was a little sad that I didn't see it because I thought that it had sold. So the next day I went online and I looked at it, and it showed that they still had it available. But I was like, I didn't see it outside. So I was like, well, maybe they haven't updated their site. So later on that day, or later on that week, I went back to the dealership to drop off a battery to get my cord charge back. And sure enough, as soon as I'm pulling in, I see it inside the showroom. So they had it in the showroom all this time. And I ended up running into my well, what now is my the sales manager that helped me out with the car. He was the guy who actually helped us at Audi when my girlfriend got her SUV. So I was like, I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, well, maybe it's a sign. So, we talked some numbers, and it looked out for me. And sure enough, here it is, 2018 M3. And even though mineral gray was not really my first option, I decided to go with it just because if I ever were to get it wrapped, it would be a lot easier to wrap it. Obviously, you don't have to worry about white, like say a bright color car like white or whatever, to just show through the like the edges and whatnot. So, and then also, whenever my car was white, I had intentions of maybe wrapping it satin black or like a satin gray. So sure enough, I mean, this worked out. I actually do love the color. I just didn't really want it because it's very common on a lot of the other F-Series cars. But anyways, sure enough, I love it. It's the red and the gray is a good contrast. I just feel like this color actually brings out the body lines of the car pretty well. So anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the car. I know I probably bored you guys with the long 5-minute talk, but just bear with me. I'm a little excited here. So here we have the interior. Obviously the secure orange interior, the standard carbon fiber. We got the steering wheel with the M stitching, which is, I think it's standard with all the M3s. There is a few things that I'm going to be changing here with the car. I do have some stuff on the way already. Very minimal, and then I do have a little surprise for you guys. Just kind of have to piece everything together. But the car is in really good condition. The car was actually owned by, from my understanding, was a enthusiast, and I believe they were just driving it back and forth to work, and they had a variety of other cars. And the reason why they got rid of it was because they had intentions of keeping the car, except then they ended up, I think the lady who actually had this car ended up getting a promotion, and they had to move out of state, and they were building a house, so they decided to just get rid of it and turn it back into the dealership. So the car ended up in my hands, and I know the car has been actually kept here in North Carolina this whole time. Some of the cars that I was looking for were actually out of state. I was actually even looking around in California, but I just really didn't feel like dealing with the shipping hassle, or if it was, let's say, halfway across the country, then I'd be willing to fly out and drive it back. But I didn't really have to go through that. I really wanted Yas Marina blue or secure orange, but all the cars that I kept finding had the xenon headlights, and I wanted the LEDs, even if it wasn't the icon LEDs. I just wanted the LED headlights. So I just kept looking and looking, and I was starting to give up, and then I saw an orange one in Georgia. It was an orange one with had very similar miles. It was 2 years older, and the pricing was only a $5,000 difference. So I was like, I mean, is the color really that important to me? And they had the same options and everything. This car is practically fully loaded except for the driver's assist. It's got a heated steering wheel. It's got heads-up display. So it's got the cold package, and then I don't know what else. The executive package, that's what it is. Like the 360 camera and all that. But it does have the 18-inch wheels, which honestly, I like these wheels a little bit better than the 437Ms. I'm just a little tired of seeing those wheels. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with the wheels, but it's just that everybody runs those on their F30, F32s. I mean, it's a nice wheel. They fit the F30 chassis cars perfect, but I think these are it. I mean, if you have a F30, consider these instead of the 437Ms. Even though they're 18s, they look good. So all this car needs is a drop and some spacers, and I think I'm going to be rocking these wheels for a little while because I really like them. Obviously, right now they look a little small, especially up front, but that's because the car is actually sitting kind of high. But once you lower it, it just kind of looks a little bit more complete. But yeah, guys, let me show you guys. Where's my keys? Let me get the keys. So this is why I really wanted this car. Okay. I forgot I didn't have it on auto. All right, let's try this again. So this is why I wanted this car. Because of these these right here. So a big issue that I had with my F30 were how pitted the headlights were getting and how hazy they were looking. And honestly, these are the headlights that, you know, just complete the front end. So I'm really happy that these headlights were on this car. And obviously they only come with the 2018s if I'm not mistaken. So that was a big selling point. The 413Ms were the thing for me. Honestly, I think if it would have been gray with the 437Ms, I probably would have considered a lot more. I mean, well, actually, no, not a lot more, a lot less. But sure enough, I mean, I just think that these are some nice wheels to have. Eventually, I am going to be getting a different set of wheels, but they're probably either going to be 19s, maybe 20s, depending on the style of the wheel. I know some 20s look a little bit too big, but a lot of F80 owners run them. And I can kind of tell why, because 20s for me doesn't do it on the F30. They just don't work to me. 20s on this, because the car is a little bit longer than the F30. I think it's like 3/4 of an inch longer. And then also the arches just kind of help the whole complete look of the 20-inch wheels on this car. And obviously we have the engine bay. So we have the carbon fiber, cars for hire, carbon fiber, crabs on fire. So if any of you guys seen the reel that I posted a while ago, this would kind of make more sense. But yeah, so the engine bay is pretty much stock. I don't know how long it's gonna stay stock like this, but we're gonna enjoy it the way it is. It's a fun car to drive because it does make about the same power that I had on my 335, and trust me, I had plenty of fun with that one. But yeah, there it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This is one of these videos that I recorded kind of throughout in the middle of the day. I'm gonna take my butt home, edit as fast as possible, and try to get this video uploaded before it's too late today. I told you guys, I made a post on my Instagram that I was gonna release the video today and post up the pictures. So I am running late. I had plans to do the video yesterday, but I ended up having to work extra with my regular job, and then by the time that I was done, it was too late to get anything done. So do me a favor, give it a thumbs up for my extra effort to get this video out today, even if it has to be at like 9-10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So even though it's really close to the F30, it's still a different car. Believe me, guys, if you have the chance to get into one of these, do so, or really consider it. If you're going from a 328, you're gonna have a blast. If you're going from a 335, 340, it's still gonna be a good change. The feel of it just feels totally different. I drove a Supra, and honestly, driving the Supra felt like, oh shit, now I'm close. Okay, I'm about to get kicked out. All right, guys. Well, the owner of the house didn't kick me out. He was actually really nice. He said that I could come by whenever I felt like it or whenever I needed to. Obviously, it's not going to be a place that I go by there every single time. But if it's something that I need a little bit more space than what I have here in the house, then I'll probably swing by that way and take some pictures or some video. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think of the car. Is it something that you guys expected for me to get, or is it something that you guys were hoping for me to get? I know it's very similar to the F30, but it's actually really a more completely different car in a way than what I expected personally myself. So if you haven't driven one, go ahead and take a test drive. It might change your mind. I chose not to drive one. I wanted to drive one. I had the access to drive one, but I felt like I kind of would have maybe made this move sooner, and I don't know if it would have been the best thing to do. But now partially I feel like I should have made the move sooner. But anyways, we're here now. We're gonna enjoy it, enjoy the moment. Like, it doesn't really matter how long it takes you to get to where you want to. You just gotta work for it, figure things out yourself, and you can actually make anything happen. It might not be within the next month, next year, next 2 years. Be patient, and then just kind of keep working forward to what you want. Set a goal and you'll make it happen, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know I talked a lot, but I don't know how else to show my excitement. All my excitement just kind of exploded like within the first couple of days as I was driving. But yeah, guys, thank you once again. If you made it to the end of the video, drop a thumbs up, because I am going heavy on this editing to try to get this uploaded tonight. But But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.